It takes a lot for me to be excited in this bear market, but there's two things I've been drawn to, which is the idea of real yield as well as decentralized trading. Whether that be stocks, Forex, or crypto, there's actually one project that does them all. And if you're not familiar with this idea of real yield, it's essentially the next evolution of DeFi, where these projects actually share the revenue with the stakers and participants, and they're actually paid out in a coin denominated in something like Ethereum or stablecoins, rather than just going ahead and issuing some inflationary farm token. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Crypto with Nick. I'm a crypto enthusiast and DeFi investor, so be sure to like and subscribe and drop a comment below of your favorite project. I'm always looking for new projects to dive into, and it's always great getting this feedback from the community. Be sure to join the Discord and let's get into today's video. Today, we're going to be talking about GNS Network over on the Polygon ecosystem. It's a decentralized leverage trading platform, but what makes it really interesting is that it has this synthetic architecture, which means that you can trade with very low fees and they can offer a ton of trading pairs. And they're soon going to expand to the Arbitrum ecosystem. GNS Network even has these NFTs, which actually offer some pretty unique benefits, such as boosting your staking APRs or giving you reduced spread while trading. And if we come down here, something that I definitely want to dive into a little bit later is the GNS token itself. And something that's unique about it is the tokenomics, because it's actually deflationary, and that's kind of a core feature of it. There's a lot of things I want to cover in this video. I'm going to dive into the platform called gTrade, which is actually the decentralized trading aspect of it. I'm also going to talk about staking and how you can earn that real yield and passive income, and then kind of move into things like maybe audits and insurance. So check the timestamps below if you're looking for something specific, but let's go ahead and dive into this platform. So if you come here and open up something like gTrade, you're going to essentially get this window. And the first thing you're going to notice is a ton of information. Here at the top, I just want to show you, we have Bitcoin USD, we have Euro, so we have Forex, we also have Apple. I am filming this after the US stock market has closed, so I can't trade Apple right now, but I'll be able to trade these whenever these markets are open. This is where you would actually establish your long and shorts. And I love what they've done with the funding rate. We can see here the funding rate for longs is actually positive right now, meaning you're getting paid to long on the platform. And if you want to go ahead and get short, you will actually pay this fee. And I love how they kind of portrayed it here just as like red, green, very easy to tell what's going on this platform. Kind of coming over here, I want to also show something. The leverage is insane on this platform. Leverage from 4 to 150x. That's actually wild. I don't think I personally have gone over 10x leverage before, but for you degens out there, this might be attractive. If we come over here, we can see there's 60 different markets available. We have US stocks, so we have notably Apple and Facebook. If we come over to something like Forex, we have all these different currencies. The Euro, the British Pound, the Japanese Yen, the US dollar, right? So many different things here. Of course, we can come over here, we can check out the crypto markets. You're going to see all the big names, Bitcoin, Aave, Cardano, Algorand, ApeCoin, right? And the list just goes on. And if we review quick pieces of the documentation, we can see here, zero impact on Forex, no scam wicks. This is a big one because you see these exchanges sometimes have these ridiculous scam wicks that just blow out your stop loss, right? It's not fun. So they found ways to mitigate against that. Of course, 150x leverage, competitive fees, just 0.08%. And the best part of it, always 100% of on-chain execution of trade, right? Right there for anyone to look and see. And you can see here for all of their price feeds, they actually use Chainlink, which of course is one of the most tried and true applications out there, used by hundreds, if not thousands of DeFi projects. So great to see them using and integrating Chainlink. If we do decide to trade on this platform, we should talk about some of the current limitations that exist, but they are flexible in the future, and I think you'll see them improve. Right now, only 3 open trades per wallet. Nothing to stop you from opening more wallets, but that's just the way it is right now. Also, maximum collateral per trade is just 75,000 DAI. So if you are a whale, you're looking to trade with larger size, I'd recommend a different application, probably something like gmx.io. We of course have maximum open interest per pair. This is really nothing unique to GNS Network. You actually see this pretty common across other decentralized trading platforms. But I think the big one here is because GNS Networks offer so much leverage, and if things go in your favor, that looks extremely well. But you can see here that the winning percentage on each trade collateral is capped at 900%. So it's something really to be mindful of. And if you're doing some trading, of course, you have to align yourself with the market time. That doesn't change coming to decentralization or blockchain, right? The market time for Forex is open specific days and hours. Of course, you can view them here. Same thing with stock trading. These are just things to be mindful of and pay attention to. Now let's talk about staking, which is I think one of the most exciting parts of this platform, at least for me. I'm not much of a trader, but I am a big fan of passive income, and letting my crypto stake and earn yield always sounds good to me. So there's a few different vaults here, and they all have different risk associated with them and all different yields, right? So first is the single-sided GNS staking pool, and this is paying out about 9% APY. And then there's the DAI vault. So this is, of course, the stablecoin that you would deposit, and it's paying out 14% APY. That's pretty good. And then, of course, we have the GNS and DAI LP pair, and this one's paying out 38% APY. Now let's kind of dive into the GNS pool APY, which is 9%. And you can see here right now, it's paid out about 8.2% APR. And of course, if you compound it daily, that's how you get to the 9%. But let's talk about single-sided staking and where the reward or the yield comes from, because that's always important. So we can see here that 40% of the fees from market orders and 15% of the fees from limit orders are allocated to the GNS staking. And this is how the rewards are paid out. And if you look at all the trades on the platform, right now 70% of those trades are market orders, which means that 32% of all fees from the entire platform is going to go to the GNS stakers. And this is, of course, where you can start to see the NFTs and how you can start to boost your reward. So you can see bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. You can dive into these in terms of like secondary market value, see if what makes sense for you, and then what would be the break-even point on your return. I went ahead and found the NFTs over on OpenSea, and we can see here they have a floor price of about 1.14. It's about $1,500. And so right now, if you go ahead and own this NFT, you actually get a 2% boost. But unless you're trading with size, it's going to be quite a while until you break even on a purchase like this. So you really have to kind of evaluate on what makes sense for you. I do want to dive a little bit more into the GNS tokenomics, but I'm going to come right back to that because I really want to finish these vaults. So this vault here is the DAI vault. It's really interesting because you deposit stablecoins and then you earn stablecoins. You can see here, you're earning about 12% APR total. And if you compound that daily, that's how you get to the 14%. But what's interesting here is you're kind of the counterparty risk, meaning that the trader's profit and loss comes in and out of this vault. Now, you've heard me probably say the phrase, the house always wins. When it comes to something like trading or gambling, that's generally true as long as you have a long enough time horizon, but you do bear that risk. And so something to keep in mind is if you're investing in this vault, you have to be aware of where the yield's coming from and how your profits might be affected. And so when we look at something like this, we can see that stakers in the vault are rewarded highly as they bear the risk associated with the platform function, and that they risk wearing the loss if the vault became under collateralized and did not return sufficient collateralization, meaning that traders just 1-2 months and kind of got screwed. But they have been saying that since they've spun this up in December of 2021, in a variety of all these different market conditions, especially in this bear market, that no DAI staker has ever been left at a loss, which is really important to understand. Obviously, history does not always repeat itself, but it often rhymes, and I think this is a good kind of guidance going forward. Really another thing to pay attention to, if you go ahead and go in this DAI vault, it's going to take you a maximum of 4 days to withdraw your collateral. What do I mean by that? If you invest $1,000, you can only withdraw 25% of your investment per day. So you would only be able to withdraw $250 day one, day two, $250, and so on until you're able to exit your position. Another thing interesting at this vault is this vault aims to have a 30% over collateralization. And anytime it's over 30%, it actually uses the DAI in the vault to buy back and burn GNS tokens. And so that's really interesting aspect on how they're kind of combining all these vaults and how they kind of help each other out. And the last vault here is the GNS and DAI, and this is really just providing liquidity to the platform over on QuickSwap, Polygon's #1 decentralized exchange. So we can look at this, 13% are coming from leveraged trading fees, 18% are coming from QuickSwap fees, which is really high actually. This is the total APR around 32%. Of course, if you decide again to compound it daily, that's how we get to the 38%. For my strategy, what I'm looking at is either a combination of the GNS pool single-side staking in the DAI vault or the DAI vault and the GNS DAI. And the reason why I can't really decide between GNS pool single-sided or GNS DAI is because this APY is really high. As well as these market conditions, I wouldn't mind pairing something like GNS with the stablecoin to kind of just help mute volatility a little bit as things maybe either go up and down, and will kind of help me either DCA into the position or DCA out. Let's look at some stats and then we'll dive into the tokenomics. I mean, this project, just looking at this page, smashing success, right? Almost $18 billion in traded in volume. Over 6,000 unique traders that have executed over 400,000 trades. And just the other day, Gains Network was able to report on September 29th, they did over $234 million on a single day of trading volume, which is honestly incredible. I really want to dive into this piece of research from Blockworks, and I usually say the house always wins, and it's really so great to be the house in these projects like Gains Network or GMX, because look at this, typically traders lose and this line kind of just eventually just trends down over and over. But look at this massive area right here. Back in May, what happened in May? Luna collapsed, and the massive leverage on this platform allowed traders to extract massive profits from the platform, which of course puts people who provide liquidity, the counterparty, at significant risk. So we can see here, right, back in May, the DAI vault went ahead and plummeted in value because one, profits were extracted, and two, I'm sure people were just withdrawing. But it seems, of course, the market has started to regain confidence with this project and with this effort, and the assets that they decide to list is so important that you can see here, it's now almost returned to those levels. And overall, things are looking pretty good. This is the August 2022 report, and you can see here the profit distributions over 700,000. They did over 33,000 trades. They also have NFT bots. That's something I'm probably not going to cover, but definitely check into it. And so definitely very cool to see this platform continuing to grow and provide distribution to the users that make it possible. I want to dive a bit into the tokenomics. So gTrade right now had a great day, up 8%. If we come down here, we can see that this token launched around essentially the top of the bull, right? Beginning of this bear market, pumped all the way up to $4 back in December, kind of fell all the way down to $1, right? In this nice accumulation zone, and then kind of pumped back up in August. And now we're kind of sitting here with a nice correction around $1.90. And if we go ahead and look at this chart, we can see again, right, peaks in August, a bunch of lower highs here, massive candles today, right? I'm paying attention to this price action. So very interesting what's going on here. So diving more into the docs and looking at the tokenomics, I really like how it's kind of a very fairly distributed. We can see here that the developer fund and governance fund is only 5% share of the token distribution, giving it 10% total, right? A lot of times you see these project teams taking something like 40, 50%. So something like 10% really doesn't concern me, right? It means that these team members definitely believe in this project and are in it for the long run. Another thing we talked about earlier in the video is, right, when the DAI vault becomes sufficiently over collateralized at 130%, it can use the extra DAI to do buyback and burns. And we can see here that up until now, over 20% of the supply has been burnt through organic deflation, which is something really awesome to see in projects these days. So GNS does have a pretty small market cap right now of only about $58 million. And if we look at something like the market cap of and compare it to something like GMX, we can see there's lots of room potential to grow. Now, I do think GMX is a better product all around. I think it's more established. I think it has better traction and adoption. But I think the GNS future is bright. And I think this goes to show you what it potentially could grow into if it's able to do more volume, get more traders. And I think a lot of that will come from its expansion to the Arbitrum ecosystem. So I think what my strategy is going to focus on is probably some of the DAI vault. I like that the platform is more mature. It's gotten a lot more traction. And so I think I feel comfortable kind of taking on this counterparty risk. But I'm not a huge fan of my stablecoins being locked up for 4 days. So if I put some funds in here, it will probably be a little bit less, just at least until I get a little bit more comfortable. And then I think I'm probably going to honestly go with the GNS and DAI LP pair. This is just because of the APY. I like the idea of muting volatility. This is also going to allow me like to DCA in if when it goes ahead and the coin drops a little bit, or DCA out if, you know, GNS just goes to the moon, right? I'll automatically kind of be exiting my position. And also, this kind of gives me some faith here. This is Insurace. This is an insurance company that is providing covers for the DAI vault specifically, which is really interesting. This prevents against things like smart contracts and hacks like that. The vault is sold out. I don't know if I'll be able to get into this vault particularly. I normally don't buy insurance, but I've been looking into it more and more. But I think what's interesting is that they offer insurance, which means that they trust that the smart contracts are most likely safe and secure. Because as an insurance company, you wouldn't offer insurance on something that you thought could be hacked so easily, right? So very interesting here as well. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive in the games network, right? Only 60 million market cap. I think this project has great product market fit. I love what the team is doing by expanding to Arbitrum, and I think they have a great roadmap ahead. I also love all the opportunities, such as the real yield of the DAI vault, which makes it really interesting for someone like myself. Be sure to drop a comment on this YouTube video. Let me know what you think about GNS Network, or come join the Discord. I don't think I've ever shown it on the YouTube channel, but we have over 700 people. Everything's free, I promise. And we have a lot of great conversations. So come join us in the Discord. Links are all in the description. See you in the next video. Cheers and happy farming.